They wanted to start a garden with the New Americans, but they didn't really know a lot about gardening. So he said, I'm gonna call my friend Jack. And so it was like 10:30 at night, I got this call from Tom, and he says, how would you like to help me start a garden? And he says, you know a lot about gardening and tomatoes? And I said, that would be fine. And that whole night I couldn't sleep.
So we started in 2006, we started gardening.
This would give me an opportunity to plant my most favorite thing in the world are tomatoes. And so that's how the voyage began.
With urban agriculture and this kind of community garden aspect, you know, the people, it's culturally appropriate. The people who are affected get to determine what they eat, you know, so they wanted more mustard greens. That was really important, and so we're able to do that. You know, and it's really empowering to a community rather than to be dependent on a food shelf.
Several of us happened to belong to Olivet Lutheran Church, and we were having a conversation. We started thinking about, as people of faith, what do we do with what we are supposed to do with what we believe, and how do we approach and meet a need in the community? How does a New American get to know people in their community when there's a language barrier, cultural barriers, time barriers? I mean, there's so many difficult things. One of the gentlemen that was kind of called to the table to kind of hash through how do we respond, he said, well, my friend Jack likes to grow tomatoes, so maybe we should have a garden, because we had property.
You know, I think when I first started, I think it was more about the gardening, and I didn't really think about the New American part of it. But as I started working with the New Americans, I felt that their need for the garden, and not so much for the food, but more for the social interaction.
Community is all about knowing one another and understanding one another's differences and similarities and embracing all of that. And we really are growing our community because we're getting to know each other and breaking down the barriers that might cause anxiety or fear. We don't need that. We want to be a community that works together, that helps one another out. I mean, we're all in it together. We're all on earth for a reason here.
And I was lucky enough to meet this group when they needed to move their garden to South Fargo. So I was part of the First Methodist group that got involved in this garden, and it came at a time where I was in transition. I needed something to fill a void. And I got such joy out of digging in the dirt and meeting these wonderful people, and it just filled this gigantic void that I didn't even know I had. It enriches my life more than I can say.
We've got Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, Hindu. I said we're Luther, Hindu, Muslim. I mean, we're just like, whatever you are, here you are. But it's not about our faith, because it doesn't matter what you believe. Whether you have any at all, we don't care. We just want you to show up.
My name is Omar Hussein. I'm with Growing Together Community Garden for 8 years.
So part of it was just working with the Africans, and then all of a sudden there were Bosnians, and then there were Iraqis, and then there were Somalians.
Been working together with all the members to plant many type of vegetables.
One of the things that I've seen happen, and like with Anita, and they have become part of the New Americans' lives.
The way we are planning for the garden during winter, we have meetings to arrange for the garden and how we will plant the vegetables.
Like Anita invited the people to come to her house to learn how to can, and where like Katie Christensen brought a couple of the boys to like swimming lessons and music lessons and different things in the school, and we're sort of almost like a second mother to some of the boys.
Okay, my name is Simeon Bekonda, and my wife here is Immaculate Dahonde, who came here from a refugee camp in Zambia, and we joined the community garden 4 years ago. What I mostly like from the community garden is being out with people and practicing what we mostly practiced back in Africa.
Well, I had a group come over this year to learn how to can tomatoes, because canning is something you can do in North Dakota. You can preserve things for the longer term, and it does have some technique involved. And Simeon and Immaculate came over.
And you also learned how to keep them for a long time.
Yeah.
That's something very much interesting.
Yeah, they teach us how to keep them for a long time. And when we are eating those products, we save some money instead of going in stores.
Well, the big thing is we provide all of the plants, and all of the new Americans love three things. They love tomatoes, they love eggplants, and they love peppers.
I have been with this garden from the beginning since 2007. My favorite part of the garden is the harvesting. I love this growing together. We work with different people from all over the world, different cultures. I love it so much.
It is really nice opportunity for us to be a member with Growing Together Community Garden.
Normally we transplant between 2,500 and 3,000 plants. This year in tomatoes alone, we harvested over probably 20,000 pounds of tomatoes. We supported 125 families in our program, but we have enough food probably to feed 250 families. So that's one of our outreaches is now is trying to reach out to bring more families into our garden program.
We are very humbled and grateful that we can do this. It's a privilege and an honor to be able to do this every year for almost 10 years. The first plants went in 2006.
All these generations together, you get to see that, families really aren't that different. There's grandparents and there's parents and there's the kids, and you get the teenagers, and you see all these different behaviors, and you still see how universal it is. And so I think that's what's super important, that we don't want it to be that you can't bring your kids.
What's your favorite part of the garden?
We pick carrots and tomatoes. So, you can pick some eggplants or something like that.
What's your favorite thing about the garden?
Rachel, hurry up.
Maybe cucumbers. Apples. That everybody gets together, like a family or something.
Do you like something about the garden? Kevin, what's your favorite thing? What's your favorite thing to eat from the garden?
Cucumber.
Cucumbers? Thank you guys, you did great.